welcome to Chattin with CHAP. I am your host, Ginger Wade, and today I have Alicia with me, and we are going to talk about how to find an evaluator. So it's that time of year, and if you haven't found one yet, you really need to get on it because evaluators are busy people. But anyway, let's talk about how to find one because that could be maybe tricky.
Yeah, so we have a really great resource, chaponline.com/resource. We have a whole list of evaluators on there. They're organized by county, I believe. So you can hop on there, click county. If you're in a more rural county, you might need to go to a county beside you to find one. But there's a whole list of evaluators that are on there. That's one way to find. One of my favorite ways is just to ask other local homeschoolers, who do you use?
Yep.
And do you like them? And,
what do they like?
Yeah, what do they like? And then also there are lots of evaluators now that do virtual eval. So if you are in a more rural area and it's tricky to find an evaluator, you can use anybody in the state. You don't have to use somebody that's living in the same town as you are. That's a great option for people. And then you can also watch, some areas have park evaluation days where evaluators just show up at the park and they evaluate whoever comes that day. So that might be something that happens in your area. If you're an evaluator, maybe that's something you want to start in your area because it's a great resource for families.
Yeah, that's really great.
So, just kind of watch the social media pages and the different support groups usually share that type of information. If you're in a co-op or any type of homeschool sporting event or something, you can reach out to those people and ask who they use and who they like, or maybe who they don't like.
Yeah. So how do you find one that works? Like, it's kind of like an interview process, right? You really got to find someone that fits. So
so you are hiring this person to do your evaluation. So it is important to make sure that the two of you are meshing educationally. If it is somebody that's only familiar with evaluating a specific curriculum or a specific homeschooling style, and that's not a style that you do, it might be hard for them to do that evaluation. So one of the tips I usually recommend people is if you find an evaluator that is unschool friendly, even if you yourself are not an unschooler, chances are that they're going to be open-ended and willing to evaluate any homeschool style. But when you're talking with other people, it's just like any job interview, like ask for references. Who of your friends have used this evaluator? What type of evaluation does she do? Is it, how long is an evaluation? Those types of questions will kind of help filter out what types of things do they want to see. If it's know the law, check out our other video of what you need to have in your portfolio. If they're asking you for a whole lot more than that, probably not somebody that you're going to want to utilize.
Yeah, so there have been times when people that I've spoken to have had evaluators that say, well, you have to use a certain curriculum, or you have to do a certain number of hours, or this work isn't good enough, you have to do more. I mean, is that something an evaluator should be doing, or is that the supervisor's job?
Yeah, I mean, you are the supervisor of your child's education, so there's a lot of decisions that you get to make. The evaluator is there to evaluate if you met the requirements of the law. If they're asking for things beyond the law, it is their signature. They can do that. But that doesn't mean that that's somebody that you have to use. And there's lots of evaluators out there that are familiar with the law and are familiar with what's required and what's not required. And I'd encourage you to find that person.
So, and it is the supervisor's job to pass or fail a student. It's not the evaluator's job. So the evaluator's not saying, okay, you did well enough, you can go on to the next grade. That's not, it's your job as a supervisor to do that. It's not the evaluator. And the supervisor keeps the records too. It's not some evaluators do offer like transcript services or whatever for older students, but it's actually not their responsibility. It's yours as the supervisor. So it would behoove you to keep those records, even if you entrust the generation of transcripts and stuff to your evaluator. It's best for you to keep that at home on your own, because in the end, if someone comes looking for that information, they're going to look to you as the supervisor to provide it, not the evaluator.
It is your responsibility to have that stuff. I had people assume that their evaluators keeping that stuff, and that's not their job. So all of that stuff you should be keeping copies of, and then eventually when your children enter adulthood, it can be their important records.
Yay!
So that's, evaluators are there to support homeschoolers, and to cheer them on and encourage you in your journey. Like you said, they're not there to pass your child on to the next grade or hold your child back or tell you have to be doing this curriculum or that curriculum, or that you didn't read enough books or you read too many books, or that they're just there to see.
Read too many books. I don't think that's possible.
But they're just there to see if you met the requirements of the law. So that's
yeah. Sometimes it's just really nice for someone to say, "Wow, you did a great job. This is really great."
Sometimes people ask too, how much do evaluations cost? Again, that's going to vary evaluator to evaluator. Really there are some folks that are super kind and sweet to the homeschooling community, and they offer their services at no cost, just as a ministry to support homeschooling families. Homeschooling, we're all paying for this, right now anyway. So it's a way to, bless other people. Some folks will do it for donations. And then others do charge a fee because it does take time and energy. And sometimes they accrue some expenses for doing evaluations, printing off things and everything. So anywhere from, I've seen, $5 per kid, $10 per kid, $15 per kid, $20, $25, and then it just goes up from there. One thing I always tell people is your school district, when you hand in that letter, they have no idea if you had a free evaluation or if you paid $200 for an evaluation. Exactly. They don't know and they don't care. So if your evaluator is offering you some extra services and you're paying for those, that's great if that's something you need. But if somebody's trying to sell you an evaluation at $200 just for a basic evaluation, I really would look elsewhere.
Okay. Obviously, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to comment below or write into us. We would love to help you out. Have a great evaluation season.